Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we are going to deal directly with food security and self-reliance in a big way. Now you may remember this board from 2 days ago when at our micro moment we presented level up your food storage into 3 levels. And today this deals precisely with level 2, which is short term. Now, as you are looking right here at our countertop here, these are all of the foods that we had. Well, we have had to toss some of them, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. But these are the types of foods that we have on our shelf out in our food storage that we intend to be short term, lasting at least a year. And as part of our emergency preparedness efforts. Now, part of self-reliance is to take good care of the food stores that we have to ensure that they are stored as safely as possible. And sadly, we have discovered that we dropped the ball on this one. What happened was we have been doing a lot of reorganizing, not just in our freezer, which I've talked about a whole lot and done some videos on, but also in our regular food storage, getting better organized, making sure that everything is in good order. And yesterday we went out to this particular shelf to pick up something and discovered that the mice had been on that shelf. Now we know that we have mice in our garage, and our garage is the only place where we can store our food. It is not an ideal situation. Store our food storage. It is not an ideal situation, but it is the only situation that we have right now. And so, like many of you, we deal with an imperfect situation the best way that we can. Now, we live right on the edge of the wilderness, so we know that rodents are a problem. We see their droppings in the garage all the time, and we set out bait and we do our best. But we had no idea the extent that those little rodents had been up on this shelf and the damage that they caused. We were appalled. So we brought all of the food in, washed the containers very carefully, but I want to show you some of the damage. Now, we have had to throw some things away because it was even beyond what we could. Things were spilling all over the place and were ruined. Now, I'm going to put these gloves on and we're going to move right over to the corner of this other counter where I set aside some of the damaged goods so that you can see what mice will do. So we're going to go right over here. So we know that plastic containers are not safe against mice, and neither are Mylar containers. They have been into Mylar bags before. And today we're going to talk about what we do to mitigate that so that things are not compromised. But here are some of the packages that they got on. Now, this is some Knorr chicken bouillon, and all they did was just eat the label. They did not penetrate or compromise the packaging, but I don't know what they found interesting here, maybe the glue. On this one, they compromised this little corner right here, bit completely through it. One of the things that I have noticed with these damage is that mice seem to get their best opportunity at corners where different angles come together, either that or an edge like this where their teeth can go opposite each other instead of just trying to get a grip on a flat surface. It's better to get a grip on an edge or a corner. So this little corner was compromised. I don't know if you can see, but there is a wet mark right there, probably mice urine. All of these are going to be going in the trash. This is turmeric, and here's a hole right here, and there's another hole right there in that corner, and some gnawing on this corner. So this is also going. This is some chicken bouillon base. They got right through into it, right there. This is some brown gravy mix, a hole this size. Now this wetness right here is most likely mouse urine on the inside of the jar. This hole, which started on an edge, is big enough, way big enough for mice to get inside this container, which I know that they did, and this corner is also compromised. This is chili powder. Now, who knew that mice liked chili powder? But they have eaten this whole corner out and gotten down inside here. And then brown gravy, once again, this corner compromised, gnawing elsewhere. But this is the one that I saved for last so that you could really see the extent of the damage on this jar of peanut butter. Now, the way that we know that mice are present, if not for holes like this, is to see little urine marks on the top that is dried urine, and of course their droppings. And so we have on the other counter have washed and sanitized everything else that will be going back out there. But obviously this fed a lot of mice and they got right down inside this. Now, how all of this was able to be compromised to this degree without our knowing, we're embarrassed about it. But I thought it's better for us to show what happens to us. We're supposed to be pretty mindful of food storage, and it just shows how things can happen and how quickly things can be compromised. We found the place where the mice were crawling up on the inside of it was an outdoor wall. They had crawled up inside that wall and made a hole right underneath an electrical socket plate. The hole was right here, just big enough for mice to come out right onto the level of the shelf. So we've patched that hole. I've dropped some things down inside the wall, some bait and that kind of thing. And so we are renewing our efforts to put bait and traps out to trap them with our food. These things were all sitting out. I felt like they were fairly safe. Oh no, they are not safe, and as you can see that they are not. So we now have brought in everything that is any kind of a plastic container, any kind of a cardboard container, and we are going to repackage the package. The good thing here, if you remember, is to keep in original packaging, level 2, keep things in original packaging, but we need to package up these packages. Now, interestingly enough, I had on that shelf 3 boxes of cornstarch, and I just put them in a Ziploc bag. A 4th one sat out right next to these, and it was the one that was decimated and has been thrown away. And so just this little bit of extra plastic coating seemed to help. The same with these cake mixes. These would have been wonderful dessert for the mice, but they left it completely alone because it was included in this plastic. And of course, I did not expect them to get into the salt, but they gnawed the bag right here. But they didn't get to the box. Therefore, what we are doing, which has reinforced what we are already doing in the freeze-dried lab, where we keep all of our freeze-dried foods, is we are going to put things in bins and buckets. We have never had one of these buckets compromised, either in this size, which is a 2-gallon size. We have some 4-gallon sizes and some 5-gallon sizes. None of those have ever been gnawed into by rodents. That is not to say that they couldn't, because they probably could. It just has not happened in the 13 years that we have lived here and have had food packaged in these bins like this or buckets. So Jim ran down to Walmart and picked up some bins. And what we are going to do, and the size isn't really great because I don't know if that one will. These are not airtight. They don't have to be airtight. They just have to snap in place so that the mice cannot get in. So these will have to lay this way. I can get another one in, and I can. That's good. And maybe I can stick a little jar of peanut butter here or here. That's good one there. And I'm right now not going to pay any attention to what is packaged with what. If we have to repackage these at a later time, we will. But for right now, and for getting them back out on the shelf, this bin works just fine because the lid is snapped against the base of the bin and mice cannot get up under here and get in. And then we will stack these bins. So this will protect our food. And at least for a time, and we'll be very mindful and watching and checking these bins to see if any of them become compromised in the coming months. So that is basically one of the things that we are going to do to protect level 2, short term up to a year, and keeping things in original packaging within bins. And I think that this is going to help really a lot. So and I'm double checking as I'm putting things away as well. You probably can't see, can you? I'm double checking to be sure that things have not been compromised as I'm putting them in. Okay, there's a peanut butter load right there. These are going to be great, and these were from Walmart, and I think, Jim, you said they were, what, $5 a piece or something?
$5.50, $6, something like that, I don't remember.
Okay, all right, so we're going to continue packaging these, and we will come back when we have them all in bins so that you can see the results. So we have 7 bins now full of our level 2 foods in their original packaging. Now, what I don't like about it is that some of these are on their side. Things like salad dressing and syrup and soy sauce are all on their sides. So this is just really for us a temporary fix. We're going to monitor it, and then as I reorganize and get this going, Jim is going to get deeper bins so we can stack things upright. And these bins have many uses in our food storage, but this is not the most ideal. Then what I will do is put a little card on the outside of each one, identifying what the contents of the bin are. And that will make it easy to find things when we go out there. Right now, things are just scattered across bins, but we had kind of an emergency situation that needed to be addressed immediately. So this temporary fix will take us through several weeks while we completely reorganize our level 2 short term that are this type of food. So check your food, make sure that it is safe from all kinds of infestations. Double check, pick packages up, look at the corners, and then if you are having trouble, go ahead and put things in bins. We've had things in bins for years out in our food freeze dryer area, and none of those foods have been compromised at all. We put Mylar bags inside bins so that they are not accessible to the rodents that are out there. When they're out there, we're trying to be more vigilant. So thank you for joining us for this. I feel like this is really important information for all of us to double check. It would be disastrous if we were counting on having these foods and in a very difficult situation, and then when we got to the foods, they had been compromised by mice. And we won't eat food that has been compromised by mice because of the germs and diseases that they may carry. So thank you for joining us for this, and let's all keep working on level 1 and level 2 for sure, and then as we can to level 3. And we will see you very soon for more videos on how we are preparing to level up our food storage.